Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Melissa and thank you so much for joining me today. We are here today to do the second head-to-head competition in my BB Cream Showdown series. And this time we are going to be putting up against each other the L'Oreal BB Cream versus the Maybelline BB Cream. I thought it would be interesting in the second competition in this series to do two of the sort of big name drugstore BB creams. I always think of the big four at the drugstore being Maybelline, CoverGirl, L'Oreal, and Revlon. So we have two of these. And the other interesting thing is that Maybelline is actually owned by L'Oreal. So these are part of the same parent company. So it'll be interesting to see what the difference is between them. Now, I usually like to start these product reviews by talking a lot about what I've learned about the parent company. I'm not going to do that a lot with L'Oreal just because it is so huge with all the brands that are underneath them, all of that, that I'm just not going to get super into it. What I will say is that L'Oreal is a huge cosmetics company. It is owner of many brands, drugstore and high-end, so NYX, Urban Decay, like so many. I mean, there's like 20 of them, and I'm blanking on a little bit right now. Maybelline is one of them. They're all owned by L'Oreal. I think it's MAC is now owned by L'Oreal. Body Shop is owned by L'Oreal. All of these are, and it is a publicly traded company, which means that their number one motive is to create value for their shareholders. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that they are in the business of increasing their stock price, of paying out dividends and making money for their stockholders, because their stockholders or shareholders are ultimately the owner of the company. They can vote people in and out. You can buy their shares on the stock market. It just means that there isn't one person who can decide that they want to forego profit to perhaps do something that is more environmentally friendly. Their ultimate goal is to increase their share value. Now, saying that, when I looked at their website, I did see, especially in Canada, some really neat projects they're in encouraging women in science, and some other pieces around young women. There is a L'Oreal Foundation and they do good things. But there is so much more to say about L'Oreal. I'm not going to get into that because what I want to do is talk about the Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream. This is a BB cream that there are 4 shades of, and I have found so far in BB creams that's a fairly good range. It goes from fair, there is a light, there is a deep, and I think there's like a medium in there. They don't have a lot of claims about this. When I went to the website, it basically is the same thing that it says on the package, which is that it provides 4 beautifying actions in one. It primes, perfects, hydrates, and corrects. And when you look at the back, it says that beautifying beads encapsulated pigments that instantly transform to your perfect shade for the look of a flawless bare skin finish. The ultralight lotion with the vitamin E provides all-day moisture. It also says it helps protect against pore clogging. So I decided to test this one first because I'm having some acne issues, and I thought, okay, at least says that its dermatologist tested and against pore clogging, so maybe this will be the better one for my skin right now. That is, I think, everything I have to say about this. It didn't even tell me the best way to apply it, nothing like that. So if you want to see how this acts on the skin, stick around. I will put this on and do a first impression. I have just washed and moisturized my face and given some time for the moisturizer to sink in. So I'm putting this on with no primer or anything, just to get my first impression of it. And this has some work to do today because I have some things going on my face. I have some pimples there. I have a whole bunch of pimples there. I don't know why my skin has been going crazy in the last week. I think it might be stress, but let's see. So I'm gonna try to do half my face with a brush and half my face with a beauty blender. And of course it would help if I took the wrapping off of here first. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand and then apply it to my face from there. So, oh, it's an interesting little end on here. It's a, whoa, so again, this is very white, much in the same way that the dollar store one was. And I tried to shake this before starting, so if the product like separated from the pigment that's in there. I did try my best to shake it up. It doesn't say anything about shaking before use. Okay, so that is the pigment of it. I did get the fair one. So let's try first with the brush, because I kind of think that maybe I'm gonna like the Beauty Blender better. So let me try on the brush side first. So much like my first impression with the dollar store Sassy and Chic, this is going on very white. So that is pretty much blended in. I'm gonna have to rethink the idea that I should be getting the lightest shade in all these BB creams, because wow, they really go white on the skin. It's doing a pretty good job of evening out my skin tone and making my pores look more even, but it really gives me quite a white complexion, which you can really see, especially in the natural light. Let me try the Beauty Blender on the other side. I sort of wonder if at some point I'm gonna hit like where all the pigment is in this, because I just can't believe that they would make it that white. So my first impression is that, wow, I look like an anemic ghost right now in the viewfinder, like white. And I never have problems with things being too pale, but that is crazy. And it's making me white and at the same time not doing a great job of actually like covering redness. And I don't even mean like the pimple redness, I mean like some patchy redness I have going on there. I mean, I'm gonna let it sink in for a moment. I'm gonna go finish my makeup. I'm gonna do the rest of it. But I don't know, like really? This one is, I thought would be better than the other ones I've tried so far, but well, it's a first impression and my first impression is not great. Maybe it just needs to warm up and sink into my skin a little bit. So I am going to go and finish my makeup and then get on with my day and do some check-ins along the way. It is the end of the day and I'm back to give you my impressions on the L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream. I have some immediate pros and cons of this that I felt throughout the day. So my first immediate thing that I have noticed wearing this throughout the day is that I am not shiny. If you watched my previous BB Cream Showdown where I put Sassy and Chic from the dollar store against NYC, my major issue with both is that I was getting very oily, and especially with the NYC one, I got oily a couple hours into the day, and especially on my forehead, it was like I could feel the oil. And I could keep that at bay a little bit by putting on a mattifying primer, but still I got very shiny. Now with this, putting this on for the first impression today, as you saw, I put it on just on my bare skin. There was no primer. I did set it with my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, but I also did that with the other BB creams that I tested, but this one does not have the greasy feeling. Now I was out walking a lot in the cold today, so I don't know if that dried my skin out a little bit. So obviously I'm gonna keep testing this, but that was the first thing I noticed is, okay, this doesn't seem to make me oily. I did have times when I was looking at my face today in different lights where it felt a little bit like a mask, and I am not sure if that feeling was because of the product or the shade that was wrong. I was sort of looking like I could see makeup on my skin, but the shade felt so wrong, like just so white on me, that I thought it might be that was doing it. I I did also notice there were a couple places where it looked like it settled into the lines around my mouth, although the place I really noticed it was actually somewhere where I built up a bit of powder. I made a mistake putting my liquid lipstick on, and I sort of corrected it a bit by putting on some powder. So at one point, about, I want to say 4 hours into the day, I was looking into a mirror and I thought, oh my God, like I can see like the crease where that was. But then I thought, might be because of the powder, because I noticed it in that one spot more than anywhere else. It doesn't seem to have oxidized at all. I don't feel like I'm looking orange. When I look at my pores close up, it looks a little bit like it has settled into my pores. My pores don't look like little pores on my face, but it almost looks like the little holes that my pores are filled. I'll try to zoom you in and show you. So if you can see that, it's not bad, but it almost just looks like they're lighter in my pores because it's settled in. As I said at the start of the day, I don't know that I feel like this really corrected redness. I guess it evened out my skin tone a bit, but I'm not sure if it really corrected redness for me. Because I think because of the lightness of the product, it really felt like the blush and little bit of bronzer and contour I put on to try to bring some warmth and color back to my face again really stood out. And in some of the inserted pictures, you'll see that. But again, I was out in the cold, so it could be that I'm looking especially flushed because of the cold weather. So when I was out today, I was at the mall, and there were 4 shades there. I went back into Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada. There were 4 shades there, and they had testers for the very lightest one and the deepest one. And I have to say, when I tested the deep one, it didn't seem that bad on my skin. Like everything ran really light. So what I decided to do, because I was wondering if a lot of the issues I was having with this product were because of a shade match issue. And if that's true, that's not the fault of the product. That's the fault of not choosing the right shade. So I have been using 810 Fair. And when I was out today, I picked up 812 Light. So I'm just gonna rip this open now and swatch the two against each other. And I have to say as well, I think in the States this costs about $12. Here in Canada, I saw it on the Walmart website for like $16. But when I went to buy this at Shoppers Drug Mart today, it was $20 before tax. So this cost me like $23. Maybe it's just something in my mind, but I feel there's something about me that feels like I shouldn't be paying as much for a BB cream as I am for a foundation. And I don't know if that's because somewhere in my mind I feel like you should pay more for higher coverage and therefore for less coverage it should be cheaper, but it just seems strange to me. Like I think this was more expensive or comparable in price to the True Match foundation that I tend to buy. So let me make sure. I'm gonna shake this up a little bit, just in case there's any kind of pigmentation that separates in there. Interestingly, the 810, I don't feel it moving around a lot, like it's creamier in there. And this one, I can hear moving. But I also wonder if that whole thing about the pigments, encapsulated pigments are what makes it look so light. Okay, so first I'm going to put on my hand the one that we used this morning. And we all remember how white that is. So that's the one from this morning. And this is 812 Pale. Or light, sorry. Okay. Does that look much different? No, it doesn't. Like, come on, L'Oreal. I feel like a fool. Like, how are those just not white? Like, are they supposed to magically change color when they touch my skin? Because it's not happening. Oh, weird. Let me eat my words. That does change color on my skin. Look at that. What is this magic? And that, so the very lightest one seems to stay closest to white, but oh my God, What the heck? Okay. I don't know if I'm impressed or weirded out. Like, when I hear something about like pigment capsules that magically change, I'm like, no, but okay. I am more intrigued by this now. Now that did go, the light color there went pretty darkish and orangish on my skin. This one, okay, I'm gonna play around with these for a week and really get a chance to test them out. I'm thinking if I can get a proper color match between these two products with me, and I mean, now that I have the two of them, I can mix them a bit, that it might be a product I really like, because I think a lot of my problems just came from the fact that it was too pale. I think that is everything I want to say about these for now in this first impression video. So I am intrigued, and I'm glad I went out and bought the second one because that is interesting. I also wonder, I was putting these on this morning with a brush and a beauty blender, but I wonder if finger application of this warms it up and changes it into that color. I have more testing to do, clearly. So next Monday, I will be uploading the first impressions video of the Maybelline that I will be trying. And then the Monday after that, I will be doing the final review of both products and telling you which one I liked best between the L'Oreal and the Maybelline. So if you are interested in what I discover playing around with these over the next week to 2 weeks, come back 2 weeks today and we will have more of a discussion about how these worked, different primers and powders and all the rest of it, and what ended up happening with these. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, please think about giving me a thumbs up. I would really enjoy that. Leave a comment down below, your thoughts, what you've tried, if you've used this before, what BB creams you might want me to try. And also, if you have not subscribed, please do so. You can click on the subscribe button down below, or there will be a picture of my face at the end of this video that you can click on to subscribe as well. Thanks so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.